Ma'am, start.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I, Preeti Sharma, Assistant Professor at Center for Management Development, would like to welcome our Honorable President, Professor Dr. D.K. Modi, sir, our mentor, Professor Dr. R.K. Khandal, sir, our Director, Professor Dr. Amitabh Roy, sir, all the dignitaries of Dr. K. Modi Foundation, our esteemed alumni, Mr. Ankit Agarwal, faculty members, and dear students. A warm welcome to all of you in this series of webinar. Today we are organizing a webinar on topic e-commerce, that is applications, opportunities and challenges. We have four presenters, Shraddha Vishnoi, Archit Bansal, Anupam Rajvansh and Devraj Rakshit, who are the students of PGDM first year. Before moving ahead, I would like to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Ankit Agarwal. Mr. Ankit Agarwal started his career in HR and had associated with brands like IBM and Accenture with more than 7 years. Not only that, Sir was the first authorized channel partner of Reliance Jio in UP West, and thereafter he moved to arbitraging and hedging of derivatives sector. He has a vast experience in hedging of equity and commodity derivatives. We are indeed to have you with us. Welcome, sir, and thank you for joining this webinar. Now, moving forward, thank you, sir. Uh, First of all, I would like to tell about something e-commerce. The term e-commerce or electronic commerce is a methodology of modern business which addresses the need of business organizations, vendors, and customers to reduce cost and improve the quality of goods and services while increasing the speed of delivery. E-commerce is a commercial transaction which has happened over the internet. That's all from my side. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Shraddha Vishnoi to proceed it further.
Good morning, one and all present over here. Today, myself, Shraddha Vishnu, is here to present our presentation on the topic of e-commerce applications, opportunity, and its challenges. Before starting, I would like to say thank you, Ms. Preeti ma'am, for giving us this opportunity. Thank you, ma'am. Now, I will start my topic. Before starting, I will introduce today what topics we are here to discuss in today's webinar. Next slide. Subtopics are introduction of e-commerce, how to differ e-commerce on the traditional commerce, application of e-commerce, challenges, opportunity and threats in India's e-commerce industry, how to work an e-commerce website, case study on Flipkart which is based on e-commerce. Now I will start introduction of e-commerce as e-commerce, also known as electronic commerce or internet commerce, refers to the buying and selling of goods or services using the internet and the transfer of money and data to execute these transactions. In today's way, we are using e-commerce so much by buying and selling of goods through e-commerce, by using internet services. E-commerce is often used to refer to the sales of physical products to online, but it can also describe any kind of commercial transactions that is facilitated through the internet. We do bank transactions also through internet. Today's internet banking and many applications are taking place for commercial transactions through internet. Now I will explain some models of e-commerce. There are some models through which we do our transactions through in business. The first is business to consumer, means B2C. In this, when a business sells a goods or service to an individual consumer, there's an example when you buy a pair of shoes from an online retailer. If you buy a online any product, then it is a business to consumer. You are getting directly from business to consumer. Second, business to business. It means that we are selling or purchasing the product for business use only. And as we have an example, when a business sells a good or service to another business. Example is a business sales software as a service for another business to use. In this, we are selling a software that is used for business use only by other persons. Consumer to consumer means a C to C. When a consumer sells a good or service to another consumer, it means we are selling a goods or service to a consumer only and it is sold by the consumer. You sell, there's an example, you sell your old furniture on eBay to another consumer. There is a website of eBay through which a consumer can sell its product to a consumer. Both consumer to business means a C2B. When a consumer sells their own product or service to a business or organization. In this, we sell their own products to a business. There is an example, a photographer licenses their photo for a business to use. Now, thank you. Over to Archit Bansal. No, hello,
Thank you so much, Shraddha.
Archit,
It was
wait,
a
I have
great
to.
explanation.
Archit, wait. There is a difference between traditional commerce and e-commerce. Traditional commerce is a local market and e-commerce is an online market. Traditional commerce is a branch of business which focus on the exchange of products and services and industries, all those activities which encourage exchange in some way or the other. In this, we purchase or sale of the products in a local market. And in e-commerce means carrying out commercial transactions and exchange of information electronically on the internet. For performing e-commerce activity, we have to use internet. In traditional commerce, processing transactions are manual. In this, we have to do cash in hand. We have to give all the cash to in hand of the shopkeeper. But in e-commerce, we have to do it automatic through using internet and using the online payment way. Traditional commerce, it assemble time limit. There is a time limit. We have to go to the shop and collect our material what we want. And in e-commerce, we have no time limits. We can purchase it 24 by 7 and 365 days at any time, evening, night, anytime. We can use e-commerce service. Fourth, goods can be inspired physically before purchase. In this, we can touch, feel our goods, what quality the product have. In traditional commerce, we can check, but in e-commerce, we cannot check the physical product before purchasing. We have to purchase after that. We will check that whether its quality is good or not. In traditional commerce, face-to-face commerce, face-to-face communication. In this, we do face-to-face communication to the shopkeeper. But in e-commerce, there is a screen-to-face communication. We do, we cannot see the face of that person who is selling us the product. Only we have to check them on the screen and order it. After that, we got it. Then only we can check that product. And in traditional commerce, scope of business is limited particular area. There is a limited area which is covered by that business. But in e-commerce, it has a wider scope worldwide. We have to launch our application through which we can introduce it to all over the world. In traditional commerce, no uniform platform for exchange of information. There is a no uniform platform through which we can exchange our information. But in e-commerce, there is a uniform platform for information exchange. And traditional commerce, we get a delivery on time and instant. We can go to the market and purchase our product. But in e-commerce, it's take a time for delivery of the goods because we are purchasing it from a different area of the countries and the different cities. Thank you. Now over to Archit Bansal.
Thank you so much, Shraddha. It was a great explanation. Good morning, everyone. Myself, Archit Bansal. And now I would like to take this topic, e-commerce, a little forward, in which I would be discussing about 6 major applications of e-commerce and its benefits. The first application is m-commerce. The term itself was coined in 1997 by Kevin Duffy. M-commerce is the use of mobile phones to conduct any type of business transaction It takes the help of the e-commerce background and web technology. Technology means the wireless technology to conduct sales of goods, provide services, make payments, and other financial transactions, the exchange of information, etc. It is the basis of mobile commerce. Benefits. The first benefit is better user experience. It provides a better user experience as a user can avail the services at any time and at any place, and most of the people are well aware of how to use mobile applications and also provide the same experience as on desktop, and is easy to use with the handheld devices, as like the whole market is moving in your hand. The second benefit is direct connection to customers. This works better with m-commerce as company can send messages to mobiles about new offers and products, which helps them to get them engaged more with mails very frequently. And direct messages to mobile are preferred over mails. It is being found that offers and rewards makes users more loyal to a brand, and uh, with this personal communication, store is directly connected to customers. Most of the people perceive informing about news or discounts as they care about it a lot and they want exclusive stuff. The third benefit is store navigation or geolocation. Geolocation is one of the best technology as it captures your location through GPS in your mobiles, and the user's current location can help them to navigate to the nearest stores in their area via GPS. The best example of this business is Ola and Uber cabs and also delivery of the products. The fourth benefit is cost reduction and productivity. It helps a business to cut down many costs such as advertising campaigns, as does not have to pay extra for installing the big hoardings, and a company can also place ads on their apps to earn extra results in productivity, which helps them to earn more money. The second application is online entertainment. Online online entertainment is nothing but getting yourself entertained via internet by playing games, streaming to the videos, social network connection through chats and videos, and many more. The benefits of online entertainment is the first benefit is entertainment is free. Entertainment is free as anyone does not have to pay an extra amount, just have to pay for the internet and the entertainment is on the go. Parental blocking and web access control. It is one of the most uh, it is one of the main feature of and online entertainment. With the help of this feature, you can monitor and control usage of child's usage internet usage, and you can choose what type of content or apps they can use and block the other things for them. The example in your mobile is of this feature is Kids Space. The third benefit is endless access to music and movies. You can listen to the music and watch movies online through internet at any time, and there is no limit to your entertainment. Now, the third application is online shopping. Online shopping means doing all the shopping activities through internet, as like buying products and watch the latest trend in market, choosing the product of your choice, and simply pay for it through your e-wallet, debit or credit card, and also through UPI, unified payment interface. The benefits of online shopping are: the first benefit is convenience of online shopping. It is very convenient to do shopping online as the products are easily accessible to you. Second is there is no pressure of shopping, as there is no pressure of shopping getting influenced by shopkeeper to buy the product, as it reduces the chances of buying the product that a retailer wants to sell to you. You have your own choice and can have as much time as you want to buy. Online shopping saves times. It saves time as you does not have to go anywhere for shopping. All the products and services are available to you at your footsteps. The fourth benefit is comparison. It is easy to compare the features of products as shopping sites has the feature of comparing the products. Fifth is online tracking. It helps you to track your order or any shipment from where your product is being delivered and how much time it would take to reach you. The sixth is availability of online shops. Yes, the online shops are available to you 24/7 into 365 days, and you can do the shopping no matter what the time is. The next application is e-payment. The e-payment is nothing but uh, e-payment is nothing. It simply means doing transactions through online platform, either by your credit or debit card, through UPI apps or through net banking. Benefits of e-payment. The first benefit is um, time savings. It helps you to save time as you do not have to go to the bank, filling the form and stand in queues and wait for your transaction to be done. The transaction is done within a seconds through online platform. The second benefit is reduce risk of money lost. While carrying your money in the pocket has a risk of falling it somewhere or getting stolen by some theft. So it reduces the risk of your that money loss, because your money is stored in your account only, and it is deducted when you made a transaction from your account. Fourth, there are no charges on your transaction up to a certain limit of rupees. Uh, Up to a certain limit of rupees 1 lakh, and after that only a little amount of amount is being charged over your transaction. Low spend on paper and postage. Through e-payment, there is a saving of that is a paperless transaction. So the papers are being saved, and also it provides the facility of uh, go through your e-statement, which also saves paper, as it does not because the e-statement is provided you digitally. The next application is online advertisement. It simply means doing advertising of your product or services or organization through platform. The first is email marketing. Email marketing is nothing but sending mails to your customers and telling about the latest offers and products to them. Second is search engine marketing. Search engine marketing captures your the way that the data that you are searching on the net and shows your result whenever you are surfing the net, shows you the result that you have searched. Third is social media marketing. Social media marketing is the process of marketing of products through social sites such as Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, Twitter, and many more. Blogging is nothing but it is a type of telling. You can make people aware of the usage of the product and the features of the product through blogging. It is a type of content writing only, which attracts the customers a lot. Now the benefits of online advertisement. The first the first the first uh, benefit is global reach. Yeah, the your you one second. Global reach. There is no limit. There is no limit for your advertisement. You can also advertise your product outside your area, uh, and also outside the country, and make the people aware of your products. The second is engage your customers. It helps you to engage your customers as by telling them about your products and offers, by continuously sending them message about your offers. And you are directly connected to your customers through that, and helps you to make the customers loyal to you, and also helps you to also helps in retention of the customers. The third benefit is cost effective. Yeah, it is cost effective because online advertisement saves your cost a lot. because uh, there are many charges that are being saved for online advertisement, and you does not have to pay for your hoardings and many more things about like taking permission from the government. So it reduces the cost for advertisement. Target the audience. It targets the audience by doing segmentation. It segments the people according to their likes and their favorite products of your company, and helps you to analyze the type of audience that is coming to your site. It is fast and easy. Yeah, online advertisement is fast, and it does not take any time to advertise your product. Once the advertisement is ready, you can post it within a seconds, and the product is get advertised every second on your site. The next application is e-learning. E-learning is simply means learning through online platform, getting education from online platform. The As we can see now that in this COVID-19, we are having a usage of e-learning a lot, because it is helping us to take classes. So um, through e-learning, many people can connect to a course. There is no limit to a students. As many people can join uh, on this e-learning. The benefits of e-learning are: the first is e-learning saves time and money. Yeah, e-learning saves time and money because you do not have to go to the institutions or any somewhere else to take education. You just simply have to pay the money for the online courses, and the learning will be available to you. E-learning leads to better retention. Yeah, because e-learning leads to better retention, as because the notes that are provided to you are being is in a digital format, which attracts a person more than that of that teachers, that uh, means the books and also the pages that we use. E-learning is consistent as uh, because you can take the class at any time, and you can go through the online notes and videos at any time. So it is very consistent way to get learning through online platform. E-learning is scalable. E-learning uh, E-learning is scalable as um, once e-learning is scalable. E-learning is scalable as you can roll out as many employees you need, and is a one-time investment. And the more learners take the course, the faster you can write off the expense. Thank you so much. Now I will forward to the Anupam Rajvansh.
Thank you, Archit. Now I will take over the challenges in e-commerce in India. How the e-commerce works in India, and how the challenges how performs in India. In the first is cash on delivery is preferred payment mode. There are some basic problems. Curbs the problems of security of online transactions. All e-commerce portal started this option on cash on delivery, wherein an online shoppers can skip paying online while placing an order and choose to pay at the time of delivery instead. Although this initially seemed to be exciting for the e-commerce platform as well as users, slowly it become a boon for them. Mainly of the customers refuse to pay money at the time of product delivery, which result in heavy losses incurred in the product transit and eventually losing out on sale and revenue. It is one big challenge faced by the e-commerce industry in India that has both its pros and cons. And the second point is infrastructural problems. Internet is the backbone of e-commerce. Unfortunately, India penetration in India is so far dimensionally low at 0.5% of the population. According to the research, against 50% in Singapore, our dimension is so low according to 0.5%. Similarly, penetration of personal computer in India is as low as 3.5 per thousand of population compared to 6 per thousand in China and 500 per thousand in US. Internet is still accessible through PCs with the help of telephone lines. Give the penetration of telephones only 2.1% of population, e-commerce remain falls all away from the common man. It is difficult for e-commerce to reach to 1000 million population spread over 37 million households in 6 lakhs 4,374 old villages and 5,000 towns and cities. Besides, both cost of PCs and internet across in India are quite higher. And the third point is internet incorrect portal address. When the customer pay an online order, he will get a call from the company asking about his exact location. The given address is not enough because there is always a little standardization while writing post addresses. It is also one of the biggest challenges that faced by e-commerce in India. As we know that there is some small cities or small villages where the delivery is not possible. That's why we have to ask them on call where what is your address that we have to deliver the product. That's why this is an essential challenge for the e-commerce platform. The fourth point is payment and tax related issues. Issues related to payments and taxes is yet another problems continuously hinting e-traders. The electronical payments is made through credit cards or plastic money, which could, however, not become popular so far in India, mainly due to two reasons. First, the penetration of credit card in India is very low, as 2% of the population only. Second, the Indian customers are quite skeptical of paying by credit cards with the increasing threats of fraud played by hackers. Like and elsewhere, credit card could not gain growth in India, mainly because of authentication and recognition problems of electronic signatures. Similarly, tax administration is yet another complex problem in this seamless worldwide e-commerce situations conditions, as establishing in incidence of tax in case of e-commerce transactions become difficult. This thus provide appel's scope for tax evasion. How to get rid of this? Some suggest total tax holidays till 2010 for e-commerce in the country. And the major issue of the e-commerce is mostly customer wants touch and feel consistency constraint. India buyer demographics are such that they want to touch and feel the product before buying. It is to assume of it look and quality. However, online buying and ticket business in India grew as it do- doesn't didn't suffer from these constant, but e-commerce platforms spreading apparels, jewelries, cosmetics, and accessories are still struggling with the challenges faced by the e-commerce industry. One more thing is there, due to the fake faith in this, that the online websites delivering the expiry products. This is also a wrong faith for the company as well as in the peoples of India. And the sixth point is shipping challenges. And shipping challenges in this, more often that no time delivery is a major issue depending upon the location, infrastructure, and unavoidable hassle during transactions or transmit, which leads to the cancellation of order by an annoyed use if the product are not delivered on time. This is a time consuming process that require much research and developments for almost all the e-commerce platform, as to facilitates user with the best supply chain model. They have to make the infrastructure model and then after he will do the things. Seventh point is product returns, refunds, etc. product which is not satisfactory for the customer trends to get replaced or returned. This is the another major issue which leads into the overall loss in revenue, loss of shipment cost, and more than all these loss of your reputation. First, I will explain through this an example. I made a purchase 2 3 years back. I order a phone, and I used this that phone for 10 days, and I returned it after using the phone, and I will get the money back, and the phone is returned to the company. That and that time the company is facing the loss in revenue, as well as in the shipment cost, and more than it. And and one more example is there. There is a food and beverages company delivering online process, through which many of the product are giving in the fake quality of product, like gyms products, like protein shake, etc. As we are looking forward to this, many more products are giving fake, and their companies were e-commerce was like, they were not taking the food back, they were returning the money back and order the same product, etc. And the next point is customer experiences. As a primarily e-commerce business or a business that has an e-commerce sites as a secondary meaning of selling its product, figuring out how to offer your customers that same experience that would get into a bricks and mortar stores can be challenging. In the world where everything is happening online, your customers expect more than they all know more about your products, price, and competition. They expect you to treat the same way online as offline. So if they can get a certain price in person but can't get the price online, they get frustrated and purchase somewhere else. And it could be an example of this. In the last February, in the last year 2019, government said traditional market as online and online market both consist the same price, as well as online as well as offline, through which getting more both the market having tough competition in both between them. uh, Example, 10 rupees product in as well as in the online as well as the offline. Consisting and profitability price is a requirement these days for an e-commerce ventures to succeed. And now was from my side, and I will call Devraj Rakshit to continue the webinar. Over to you, Devraj.
Thank you, Anupam, and good morning, all of you. And special thanks to Ms. Preeti ma'am and our director, sir, also. So now I gonna to discuss opportunity of the marketers of the business owner. So Anupam also discussed the challenges. I would like to discuss the apart from the challenges faced, marketers have some opportunity and will face some opportunity for future and for now, and also be past. They are also have been. And first one is, first of all, it minimize the inventory cost. Like if we'll have a retail shop, yeah, retail showroom. So this have lots of costs, like mall rent, and also the electricity bills, and also the security charges, also the customer entertainment, all of things, and they are available. So these kind of costs are reduced there. And second one is, it can play a vital role in the improvement of customer service. It's day by day customer are providing day by day customer, like they are 24 into 7 into 365 are available e-commerce services. And second, this not possible in traditional business or like a retail mall. It's only possible in e-commerce business. And third one is, it provides a great scope of globalization, like a local business transform into the MNC, or like a go to the bound of the country and out of the country. And now all of you see this thing. It is the revenue of e-commerce industry. It's the have some past data, and I will forecast it 2000 since 2017 to 2024. and day by day it's been increasing, and it's the number of internet user are day by day increase. And also it's the 2015 to 2023 day by day increase. This now 2020 still now user is 564.5 million billion, sorry, billion something. And now this is the two key point of the opportunity. One is market size. Indian market size are very massive, and also have a massive market. And also second is government initiative. uh, um, so let's see what the, and after market size what will the what have been the benefited. Like first one is January 2020, Devlin Solitaire is launched. It is the e-commerce platform. It is the India largest diamond company. They are also have been launched a e-commerce platform. There through we will purchase the diamond and like ornament, this kind of ornament, and also the boys ornament also available there. So there too I will there too I are buying from e-commerce and not go to there. And second one is August 2019, when Amazon acquired the 49% stake in unit of Future Group like Big Bazaar and Easy Day, and also the Future Group furniture shop also acquired by the Amazon 49% stake. And third one is Reliance to invest. Reliance to invest 20,000 crore in its the telecom business to expand the broadband, and also the provide the 5G services, this kind of things. And fourth one is the September 2019 PhonePe launched a super app. Super app is a kind of app. It is the combination of many type of apps, many type of services also. And fifth one is in November 2019, Nike is the women fashion brand. They are also launched 55 offline store and making success in tier 1, tier 2 cities. It's the category. And after 6 months is Flipkart are getting acquired by Walmart for $16 billion, is expected to launch more offline retail store in the Indian to promote private label and also the segments such as fashion and electronics. And after some slide ago, I was also seeing this thing. And also 7 point is as of March 2019, Flipkart launches an internal fund about the $60 to 100 million. 100 million to invest from early stage to state innovation and related to e-commerce industry, this kind of things. And also the Paytm launch also the online banks, and it's the first Indian banks there through we will open the now we is open the we are open the zero charge of on online transaction on minimum balance not required there, and free virtual debit card also available there. And after government initiative, some have been some fruitful things like government e-marketplace, and like the 2019 government of India released the draft national e-commerce policy, which encouraged the FDI, foreign direct investment, and also the order increased the participation foreign player e-commerce field in the Indian government, hike the limit of the FDIs, and heavy investment of government India rolling out the network for 5G will help the boost e-commerce in India. And some these kind of some achievements after government initiative. After government initiative, the festive sales like $1 billion things of gross merchandising value. Gross merchandising value is the those value which helps to which helps it is the certain period, and is certain period of sales, and this the till now $3 billion. That's been the government initiative. And second one is transaction through unified payment interface like UPI. UPI stood at 1.30 billion in February 2019. And fourth is like and under internet Sati project. Sati project is the increasing the literacy rate of Indian women, native women like village women. So they are to be possible these kind of things also. And 2.6 lakh village are benefiting this thing. And also the fourth point is under the digital movement, government launched various initiatives like Udan and Startup India, this kind of things. So Udan is the B2B platform. There to be transaction goods and services like B2B industry, and Umang is the also provide the like Aadhaar card, PAN card, these kind of things. And startup businesses there are also available like new investor and also the mentor. There are invest and also newcomer startup are who is to benefited. And under the project, and the government introduced the Bhim app. Bhim app is the mobile app. This through we digitally payment anywhere, anytime. So these kind of things. Uh, and now I discuss how to do work a e-commerce system in backend work. Like it is the full automation technique. It's the totally virtual technique. So let's see what is it. So first one is all of you assume that Ria is a customer. Sitting at her customer tries to order a book online, and also the all of process like payment process and the customer live process, these kind of things are gathered, and these are go to the web server, and this order go to the web server, and web server send the request to order manager. Order manager queries a database to find out whether what does the customer want is actually stock. If stock are not available on this moment, so send a request to wholesale team and also the headquarter for this supplier and order manager assume that on those time product are available, and product are available, and the assume and the merchants and also the process the payment system, and also the merchant service also the request sent to customer bank computer for extra checking. The merchant system authorized to transaction go ahead, this kind of things, and also the check customer have a huge value or not. And after then order manager send a request to web server, and web server also send the request to the customer for the order has been processed, and also order manager send a request to warehouse, and warehouse, and it truck from the warehouse from warehouse, a truck dispatch the farmer collect food from the warehouse and deliver them. And once them dispatch, the warehouse send a request to the customer, your order have been dispatched, and after goods are finally ordered to the customer since warehouse. And this the whole kind of things are virtually maintained by the e-commerce industry. And now I gonna to discuss case study based on the Flipkart. Is the Indian e-commerce based company, and it's the comes under after first ranking in India, and it's the Bangalore based company. It's founded by Sachin Bansal and Bini Bansal in 2007. They are two brothers, and both brother ex Amazon employee. Also its current revenue is 43,615 crore, and also its owner is as Walmart 77%, and also cement is 8 million 8 million per month, and registered user is still now 100 million, and daily user traffic is 10 million, and warehouse 21 state of art. Site software configuration is its font in designed by the HTML, CSS, and Scala, and the JavaScript also, and backend language is also Python, PHP, Java, ROR, these kind of things, and also the MySQL and Gem server. And it's the journey of the Flipkart. Firstly, when I started as a launch as a book shop, and after then they had been growing day by day. Started cash on delivery, and also the sold 1 lakh book in single day in 2013, and also the $1 billion funding in 2014, and launched the Flipkart Lite also. Flipkart Lite as the low consuming and also the shortage consuming memory app, and this is launched by the Flipkart by 2015, and 2016 first Indian app to cross 5 million users. And now I discuss how to work Flipkart warehouse. What the work are continuing behind this. This warehouse data sources, Mr. Dharmendra Kumar Gupta is the senior director of Bangalore warehouse, and its total warehouse length is 2.25 lakh square feet, and total storage capacity is 5.9 lakh cubic feet. And employee worked on like day and night shift, total 10,000, and working time is 24 into 7 into 365 hour, and daily packaging capacity is 5,000 per hour, and daily packaging capacity daily delivery capacity is across 22,000 pin code all over India per day. And now let's see how to work. Every day a truck holds of the product are brought in as the customer requirement, and also the based on the customer order, and this order go for the gauging and stamp for the efficient identification, and also the matching with current inventory they are available or not. And this product go to the product are moved using the hand pallet and also the battery operated vehicles, and the product put on the rack. And there to warehouse worker pick the customer product as per the customer requirement, and the product put on the product spiral suit, and spiral suit product are go to the extra packaging with company level also invoice, and also the like kinds of the something also more gift. And also the after repackaging, the product go to the distributed channel or courier company, and their final delivery to the customer. And now I discuss the SWOT analysis of the Flipkart. Like it's the some have some strength, like Indian largest e-commerce retails, it's hold the till now dollar 1 billion GMV, gross merchandising value. And also the its founder experience, because Benny Bansal and Sachin Bansal are the ex Amazon employee. And acquisition like letsbuy.co, chapak.com, and over.com, and mini360 and Manatra, that's all kind of acquisition are done by Flipkart, and that's the main benefit. And high brand recall, and they are always say on television, on film, on the social media platform. On the social media platform, it's the Indian largest e-commerce, so it's the brand value, and it's called the brand recall. Also the customer and change the consumer behavior also. And also have their own payment gateway and logistic there the reduce the cost, like its payment gateway is PayGP, and logistic arm is ika.com. And exclusive and broad range of product are also available there, like a MI and Moto G, these kind of things, Xiaomi. And its weakness is limited distribution channel reach. Flipkart now have been struggling. If I take a example of Amazon or eBay, their product delivery are all over country and all over villages. Like Flipkart are now struggling these kind of things. Their product are not delivered whole India, and cost of acquisition is very low. Per customer acquisition is as the survey 400 per customer, and power in hand of buyer. Like a customer always go for the better option. So if they are not select the unique selling price, then customer will be switched from other companies. And also the opportunity expansion of business, they are also expansion and expanding their product category, and also the increasing the expanding product categories, like day by day to should increase. It's the opportunity for the Flipkart. And changing mentality of Indian e-commerce, like some Indian e-commerce would like to buy from the online for seeing the status also. And establishing an order developing economy, like Flipkart Flipkart should go out of the India. Those countries have also the strong economy, also the speed economy. And like some threat, Also, Indian have lots of option like ebay.com, amazon.com, and also the local brand and local brand also available there like shopclue, snapdeal. So these kind of are the competitors also, and always set a unique selling price. And government regulation, it's mean government day to day changing their FDI policy for multi branding issue. And thank you, and that's all for the my side. And over to Miss Preeti ma'am, kindly say.
Thanks, Devraj, and thank you all the students who present very well. Now, I would like to invite our esteemed alumni, Mr. Ankit Agarwal. He is alumni of batch 2005 to 7. I request you, sir, please share some expert comment on that topic.
Well, thank you. A very good morning to all the present members. And I would like to thank Amitabh sir for inviting me to the seminar. For those who don't know me, I'm Ankit Agarwal from the batch of 2005-7. And it was a very great time to spend there in the CMP. It was a very great experience. And I sometimes, find myself to be, very lucky to, choose CMB as my master's college. So, however, the presentations was very enlightening, and all it was very much detailed. I would like to add some insights that may bring some which is more knowledge to the seminar. I will be covering, basically three things into this. First is like, the opportunities you have almost, everyone of the presenter has made very clear into the opportunities lies within the e-commerce segment. I hope my voice is clear to all of you.
Yes, it is clear.
Okay. So I would like to give you a little insight about the scope, what more scope we have, or let me give you more detailed, scope that can be that is existing in the e-commerce industry. So there is a point which I would like to explain on this. E-commerce is the, few companies. I would like to say like MI. MI was the first company to use the e-commerce platform as a product launch platform. MI launched Note 3 in 2013, I suppose, and it was a huge success. It was the first time any company went into a product launch on the e-commerce platform, and it was a huge success to the MI. And moreover, many companies like OnePlus, they have never moved into the retail. When you go and you ask to the retail of the mobile segment to give you a OnePlus mobile, you will not get the mobile from the retail outlets. So this company has made a huge success in making basically an online existence of the product. So they have come up with a new concept of making the product only for the online sales, and they have actually reduced their operational cost by not going into the retail. They have reduced their channel cost, but they are giving you a very very premium segment mobile, which is not sellable through a retail channel. However, they actually made a channel out of the e-commerce platform. And moreover, you have already covered the training and education, but services is a segment which is very much into existence and is actually very growing with a very huge pace. Like you can see the urban club, you can offer services like you can offer barber services, you can offer carpenter services. If I go into a metro city, it would be very difficult for me to find a carpenter, right? So if I need to, find a carpenter, I can go to that urban club service, right? So I can have a carpenter, I can have a, a guy who can come up to my place and give me a hairdressing or something like that. So this is one of the segment. Services is one of the segment that can have a very good scope. Ultimately ideas are something which makes a segment work, right? So urban lab is one idea in the segment of services, right? And health services, you can find doctors applications, where doctors can suggest you, they can diagnose you, they can recommend you some medications and so on and so forth. There are many training, basically exercise training applications like Freeletics, where you can have a real-time coach and they can guide you to under a routine, under a training session of 30 days or 60 days or so, wherein you can take your fitness goals to the next level without even moving out from your home, right? So this is one segment. And advertising, you have covered the advertising segment, like search engine optimization. Google is the biggest player in advertising, and Google AdSense, you must have listened, heard of Google AdSense. It is the largest player in the advertising, right? Tour and travel, this is an segment basically which is very much on a boom. As you can see, Ola and Uber, right? We are very much into tour and travel, like Oyo, right? Again, the concepts are being developed in the segment. The industry is there, but the execution of concepts was the only factor which made these concepts to be very successful. Another concept of tour and travel I would like to quote in is the BlaBlaCar. It is again a concept of sharing your ride over a particular destination, so that you can reduce your travel cost. Again, it's a concept, but a great success. However, people are not using that much BlaBla here in India, but when you go in the European markets and American markets, people are very much BlaBla. They are using very much. This application is being used. And again, the industry of food, every one of us is aware about Swiggy, Zomato. We have been food is another commodity which is actually being sold online. So again, it's all about adding the dimension to the platform. There are huge possibilities in e-commerce, and again, the concept, how you put up another dimension to the existing platform is the mantra for the success. Gaming and entertainment. We have covered entertainment about Netflix and Amazon Prime. Gaming is another platform where purchases are made. People buy games, right? They also buy certain many of you must be aware about buying some additional services into the game to make you to have an advantage in the game. So gaming industry again is also very much into the e-commerce. And finances, it will not be wrong to say banking industry was the first industry to incorporate the e-commerce system into the existence, because first banking was the first industry to start the online transactions, right? Because currency, it was the first segment, it was the first sector to make the currency digital and to transfer the currency digitally to another location. So finance is again, if I say about my set of industry, like I am into stock exchange. So stock exchange was usually, it was prior to 80s and 70s, it was OTC trading or over the counter trading. Now when they incorporated online trading, so it was again very much advantageous and reduced risk, and listening to different calls of the trader, which used to do it over the counter by shouting and quoting their quotes and rates about certain equity and commodities. So this is something about the scope, and I would like to also cover one more thing about the darker side of the e-commerce industry. You know, we have spoke about the scope. Let me give you some insight about the darker side, which I have personally seen into my tenure of working with e-commerce platform. See, e-commerce industry, however, it's a very good industry, but every advantage has its own disadvantage. So it leads to price war. If a seller, let's take an example of a seller who is enjoying the margins. I mean, if a seller is alone in a radius of say 2 kilometers, right, and he can sell a particular product or commodity on a specified price where he can enjoy you know the maximum margin he can enjoy. If the same retailer goes to an online platform where another more sellers would be there to compete, because everyone wants to sell, right? When you come to a platform like this, a person A would be selling product X on a X price, and again person B would be selling on a lesser price. So it actually leads to shrink the margin of the seller, and it also leads to a price war, right? And the second point I would like to quote is stock dumps. Like companies, what are doing? They have adopted a strategy of two-way channels, right? They are selling goods to a distribution channel, and they are selling goods on e-commerce channel, right? So what they are doing, if you can allow me to share a file.
Screen share is not possible.
Okay, no worries, no worries. I can give you an example. If you can take.
Sir, which one?
I hope you are aware of the company Saregama, right?
Yeah.
Saregama, which is a very huge company in terms of the music rights. It has the biggest music rights of the old songs. So Saregama has a product of Saregama Karwa. You must have heard of Saregama Karwa. Earlier, I used to deal into Saregama Karwa, not only in Saregama, I had been for distribution of certain other telecom services also. So these companies, what they have adopted two-way channel, right? They are selling the same product through your channel, the distribution channel, and they are selling the same product through an online channel. What they are doing, if there is a product, let me show you a product of Saregama Karwa. This is a Saregama Mini product. This is one of the Karwa Mini, which they are billing to the distributor on a price of 2,095 rupees. Right? Means there is a distribution margin, there is a retail margin, and then it will be.
Ankit, you have unmute yourself. Yes.
Okay. So they are charging. I mean, the product will be landing to the customer at somewhere to 2,300, 2,400, and they are selling the same product on Amazon at a price of 1,900. So again, what they are doing, they are dumping the stock on in the distribution channel on a higher price, and they are selling the same. Can you listen? Can you hear me?
Audible. You are audible.
They are selling the same product on a lesser price on sites like Amazon and Flipkart. And moreover, this is not the only issue where it leads to dumping of the products, and how it becomes very difficult for a traditional business owner to sell the product in the market on a lesser price, because again he actually received the product on a higher price, because this is often became our habit of checking online, checking the product online before buying it offline. We always go through the price is, let me see, if I can find the product a little bit lesser on an online note. So this is one of the disadvantage, and it leads to there is a methodology, there is a term which goes into distribution. It's called cutting the mal. Basically, what happens when you are done with enough stock and you are not able to sell it into the market, तो बेसिकली क्या होता है कि जो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स होते हैं वो अपने लॉस को कवर करने के लिए उस स्टॉक को मार्केट में लेसर प्राइस पे बेचते हैं, तो वो which that actually leads to price wars, and उससे मार्केट बहुत गंदा होता है. So moreover, this is not the only dark side. These companies have the exclusive right of selling the product. You cannot, if the Saregama company is selling this product online, you cannot list your product on Amazon. I hope you are not aware of this. If there is an exclusive right of Samsung to sell a particular product and you are a distributor of Samsung, you cannot sell the same product on the e-commerce side if Samsung has an exclusive right of selling a particular product. So this is again a darker side, and wherein the traditional business owners finds it very difficult to survive in this scenario. And there are also many things which are there. Let me give you an example. This product, let's assume this product is of 1800, which actually cost to me, right? So if I have to sell this product, I need to earn something like say 200 rupees per product, right? If I have to earn 200 rupees per product, Amazon is charging a listing price of 300 rupees per product. So what I need to do, I need to make the product 300 of the 300 rupees, the Amazon fees, 200 rupees my margin, then I will be making it 2400, right? 2400 or 2300, whatsoever the figures are. So again, there is a very big challenge, very good challenge. These companies are charging so much margin, listing margin. If you are listing a product, they are charging approximately 10 to 15% of the product price. They have certain AIs, artificial intelligence, scripts working in their e-commerce platform, wherein they compare the prices of the product. For an example, if there is a say earphone, right? If you are selling an earphone which is due to the market, the artificial intelligence scripts, the codes that they have put into their e-commerce platform is like that. They can compare, like you got this this earphone for say 10 rupees, that is your manufacturing cost, and you posted this product for 2000 rupees on the Amazon side. If the product value is not according to the standard of the site or whatsoever products are going into the market, the Amazon artificial intelligence system will automatically identify the actual cost, and they will put their margins, listing margins according to that, right? So this is something which is very much going into the industry, and I will not call it a dark side point which I am going to discuss. Like people are saying that the retail segment has been very much affected from the online business, and people, I have people in my touch which have been saying that the online market has greatly affected their business. Yes, it's a hard fact to accept, but again, it's a paradigm shift of technology that happens over a decade or 2 decades. It always happens. There is always a technological paradigm shift, so that keeps on happening, and the more the more smartly you adapt to the changes will actually make your success huge and great. And another thing which was also covered with the presenters was the fraud which is happening in the e-commerce platform. And this is not the only fraud, like transaction frauds which are happening. I hope you must have been aware of the frauds that if a person is ordering a product, and later on he actually took the product out of the box and placed something else into the box and then returned back to the company. So these kind of frauds are also happening later on. I have certain opportunities which are very futuristic. I believe it may seems to be funny, at this point of time, but they are going to be there, down the line, say 20 years or 15, 20 years. So the futuristic model that can be there in the coming future, the opportunities basically, the augmented reality based, shopping. Augmented reality, you must be aware of, wherein you can put in some kind of virtual reality headsets, and can experience the the real time shopping. That is still in the process of development, but definitely it is going to be there, and it is a new dimension that is going to change the industry very soon. So there would be augmented reality based real estate selling. If you want to buy a property in Dubai, right, and you are here in India, so you can visit the property sitting right here in India through augmented reality. That is someday some going to happen very soon. Yes, say 2 years down the line, it will be in the market. And I believe during the lockdown, uh, training and education has found a newer dimension. As we are talking on Zoom, it's again a newer dimension which has been identified and well accepted by the by the population. Uh, and again, I'm going to add a new vision to this. 3D holographic training that would be happening very shortly in the coming future. However, the technology is very expensive right now, but it is going to happen. It is going to be another dimension to this online training education system. That is being into uh, uh, a development phase, I would say. So again, there can be ideas which can be put into this, and can be a huge success. Again, the last point is very much, futuristic, and it seems to be unbelievable right now at this point of time, which is called, teleportation. Teleportation is something, traveling from one location to another location in the fractions of seconds. It can be achievable, until the technological singularity happens. Technological singularity is something which is a concept by, identified by many scientists. Even Stephen Hawking, I must be sure that you must be aware about Stephen Hawking, which technological singularity is something wherein the artificial intelligence would take over the human intelligence in in next 10 years or 25 years. I hope you must be very much clear about how the technology curve has taken a very sharp turn. As you can see, when the memory card used to be a very short of storage, 6 MB or 12 MB or 18 MB. Now you can see, there are GBs, in just 10 years. So how fast the technology has taken, and how the circuits have gone short. So that is, teleportation is too early to say, but that is going to happen someday, by some 20 years down the line. So this is basically my observation, and then and finally, in the end, I wish all the students of PGDM to have a great and successful career. And thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ankit sir, for sharing valuable points with us. Now, I would like to invite our respective director, sir, for vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Lot of thanks for choosing such an apt topic, e-commerce application, uh, challenges and opportunity. Uh, the phase which we are going through, though e-commerce has always been important, it is a symbol of modernization, technology savvy, a lot of conveniences associated with e-commerce. But the present crisis which we have faced, and Ankit has very rightly pointed out that lot of services are coming up for e-commerce platform. Our education service as well. Had there been no online mode, it would have been very difficult for us to be connected with our faculty members and students. So, education services and a lot of other services were very much sector-wise covered by Ankit. They had supported a lot to various people, especially during this lockdown period. CAGR has given its report in 2019 that e-commerce industry in India is expected to grow at the rate of almost 20%, 19.6% till 1923, compounded annually, right? So there was a 20% growth was anticipated in 2019, but I feel that owing to this lockdown and a lot of people shifting to online mode, because we all know that physical distancing is the norm for today, and mobility has all its restriction nowadays, and the people are more preferring online transaction rather than cash transaction. I feel that this e-commerce seems to be growing more than 20% rate in times to come. And in 2020, by mid 2020, the growth that has been registered in e-commerce uh, area is 26%. So we expect that things are going to be very much full of opportunity in times to come for e-commerce industry, especially when we expect more and more smartphones in the hand of rural people even, and internet penetration in rural area. Uh, I hope that I completely agree that this webinar has been a great success in covering various dimensions of e-commerce in especially in respect to applications, challenges, and opportunities. I congratulate you, Preeti ma'am, and the team of students who were presented on this topic. I express my sincere gratitude to our CMD alumni of 2005-7 batch, Mr. Ankit Agarwal, who has been always a very bright student of his time, and he is presently working as a hedger and arbitrager with financial cybermediary. And we are again grateful to you, Ankit, that you had accepted our request, and the enthusiasm which you have shown for joining us during this webinar. I really appreciate you.
It's an honor, sir. It's an honor.
Thank you for being with us. I'm extremely grateful to all dignitaries of Dr. K.N. Modi Foundation who are present with us, especially Manish sir, our IT head, who had supported a lot throughout. I hope this webinar was last webinar being presented by CMD. We are really grateful to you, Manish sir. All my faculty members, respected faculty members, our students, not only of CMD, but other institutions who have joined us. We are thankful to you. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you.